overturning of Roe was, without any question, a seismic event. And this ban here in Arizona is one of the biggest aftershocks yet.
Vice President Kamala Harris brings her reproductive rights tour here to the West, blaming former President Trump for Arizona's revival of a near-total abortion ban. Trump trying to reframe the issue.
And now the states are working their way through it, and you're having some very, very beautiful harmony.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. Vice President Harris visited Tucson today as the abortion debate intensifies in Arizona, a key battleground state in the November election. She spoke with supporters just days after an Arizona Supreme Court decision upheld an 1864 law that bans all abortions except to save the life of the mother. The vice president said former President Trump is responsible for harsher abortion restrictions being implemented at the state level across the country.
Donald Trump is the architect of this healthcare crisis. Yes, he is. And that is not a fact, by the way, that he hides. In fact, he brags about it. Just this week, he said that he is, quote, proudly the person responsible for overturning Roe. Proudly responsible for the pain and suffering of millions of women and families. Proudly responsible that he took your freedoms.
And today, former President Trump once again celebrated the overturning of Roe v. Wade during an event in Florida.
We broke Roe v. Wade, and we did something that nobody thought was possible. We gave it back to the states, and the states are working very brilliantly, in some cases conservative, in some cases not conservative, but they're working, and it's working the way it's supposed to. You have some cases like Arizona that went back to like 1864 or something like that, and a judge made a ruling, but that's going to be changed by government. They're going to be changing that. I disagree with that.
When Arizona lawmakers convened for the first time after this week's abortion ruling, Republicans blocked discussion about repealing that 1864 law. One person was killed and several others injured today when authorities say the driver of a big rig intentionally crashed that stolen 18-wheeler into a building in Texas. That truck plowed into a Department of Public Safety office in Brenham, about 75 miles northwest of Houston. The driver of the big rig was being chased by sheriff's deputies at the time. Authorities say the suspect, Clenard Parker, was at that same DPS office yesterday where he was denied a chance to renew his commercial driver's license. There is no word tonight on exactly why his renewal was rejected. Today in Orange County, a man was sentenced to 40 years in prison for a road rage shooting that killed a 6-year-old boy. As Fox 11's Christy Fajardo reports, the man convicted of firing that deadly shot apologized to the boy's family during today's sentencing.
Miss Cloonan, I am truly sorry for taking your beautiful son away from you. There are no words.
It was an apology the mother of 6-year-old Aiden Leos never heard. The grief-stricken parents were not in the courtroom when Marcus Aris was sentenced to 40 years to life in the road rage shooting death of the kindergartner.
And I am so sorry for ever hurting him and for the pain that he went through because of me. He never deserved it, and neither did his family.
In May of 2021, Aiden was on his way to school with his mom on Highway 55 when Aris fired at their car, hitting the little boy who was riding in the back seat. Aiden screamed "ow" and told his mom his tummy hurt before dying in her arms. The manhunt for Aris and his girlfriend, Winnie Lee, who was driving, lasted for more than 2 weeks, drew $500,000 reward, and spurred this plea from the family.
Help us find the people that did this to my little brother. He's only 6 and he was so sweet.
That pain was not lost on Judge King, who acknowledged the apology but wasn't swayed. He had the option under recent state laws to dismiss an enhancement that added 25 years to Aris's second-degree murder sentence for using a gun. King saying that neither his age, he was 23 at the time, nor childhood trauma explained his choice that day and gave Aris the full 40 years to life.
You had the power, and the power was that handgun. And whether it was to impress your girlfriend, to release your anger, you fired. And that little boy died.
Harris's girlfriend has been charged with accessory after the fact and is awaiting trial. The prosecutor calling the murder the type of case that haunts everyone involved.
There is no way to express, and there's certainly no way to understand the depth of pain. For anyone who was here that heard that 911 call, I don't think that's ever going to leave you.
In Santa Ana, Christy Fajardo, Fox 11 News.
In Washington, a police pursuit of a kidnapping suspect ended with a deadly crash. This was the scene last night in Linwood. Deputies say they were chasing the car because someone inside was suspected of being involved in a kidnapping. They stopped chasing the car when the driver began going the wrong way on State Route 525. And at some point after that, the car hit another car head on. The driver and the passenger inside the suspect's car were rushed to a hospital. The driver in that other car, who was uninvolved, died there at the scene. The driver who was arrested in this case is facing charges of vehicular assault, DUI, and murder. Newly released dash camera and body cam video shows a dangerous encounter between Seattle police and a suspected car thief. Oh, oh. As officers approached that stolen SUV, police say the driver sped away, crashing into a police cruiser and running over an empty baby carrier, narrowly missing a mother and her children. The stolen SUV nearly flipped over before it came to a stop. And after all that, investigators say the driver tried to run.
Under arrest! You are under arrest!
The 36-year-old suspect was taken to a hospital before being booked into jail on charges of hit and run, vehicular assault, and unlawful possession of a firearm. 3 officers were injured during this arrest. Their exact conditions are unknown tonight. 2 brothers have been arrested for allegedly tossing an explosive device into a church in Henderson, Nevada last month. 4 people were injured by the device, similar to a firework that went off inside the gym at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. 18-year-old brothers Caden and Connor Renard are facing charges including battery, possessing an explosive device, and burglary with a deadly weapon. Members of the church said this was the 3rd similar case at that same church. The former interpreter for Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani made his first court appearance before a federal judge in a Los Angeles courtroom today. Ippei Mizuhara is facing charges that he stole more than $16 million from Ohtani to cover gambling debts. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez explains what happened in court.
A lot of people think Ippei's taking the fall for Shohei. Is that any truth to that accusation?
Answering no questions, defense attorney Michael Friedman made his way out of the federal courthouse, where Ippei Mitsuhara appeared for the first time. The 39-year-old faces felony bank fraud charges for allegedly stealing millions of dollars from Dodgers star player Shohei Ohtani, who maintains he is a victim and had no idea his former translator was supposedly involved in illegal gambling.
Immigrants are the most vulnerable members of society, and they get fleeced a lot by these people that are just trying to get their money.
Immigration attorneys say Ohtani's case is unique in the large amounts of money, but not in the criminal breach of trust they often see in their community.
A lot of, notarios per se, as they're called, that carry themselves as attorneys when they are not, will represent themselves as attorneys and will submit applications fraudulently or even steal their money and never file anything with the court or with immigration. And by the time they know it, like Ohtani's case, it's already too late.
In court, Mitsuhara agreed to enroll in gambling addiction treatment as a condition of his $25,000 unsecured bond. Again, no comment from his attorney, who did say in court his client has surrendered his passport. As a Japanese citizen, even with legal residency in the U.S., Mitsuhara faces more than the 30-year maximum prison time.
If he's a lawful permanent resident, he's going to be facing an aggravated felony under the immigration laws, and eventually he will be deported.
And that was Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez reporting for us tonight. Ohtani told the Los Angeles Times he is, quote, very grateful for the Department of Justice's investigation and now wants to focus on baseball.
Oh, gosh. All of this is completely under.
Flash flooding across Hawaii's island of Kauai. Coming up tonight on West Coast Wrap. See how high waters and landslides have left some people stranded.
And here's our live camera in Hilo. As you can see, Hilo, Hawaii, lots of cloud cover. Current temperature of 73 degrees. We'll have more in the forecast, the weekend outlook, coming up after the break.
Also coming up tonight, no time to waste for demolition crews in Las Vegas. We'll take you inside the Strip's now shuttered Tropicana Casino for a look at how they're getting the resort ready for an implosion. The first night of this year's Coachella Music Festival is underway right now in the Southern California desert. Let's give you, is this our live look tonight? I think this is. Yes, the festival underway right now, and this is streaming live here from Indio, the Deftones on the stage right now. They have several live streams going for music lovers who just can't make it out to the desert for the show. And we have a link to those webcams up at our website, which is westcoastwrap.com, if you want to check out the festivities. 2024 Coachella headliners include Lana Del Rey, Doja Cat, and Tyler, the Creator. And the festival runs both this weekend as well as next weekend. Demand for O.J. Simpson memorabilia is on the rise after he died this week after a battle with cancer at the age of 76. Now anything signed by Simpson is growing in value. One store in Las Vegas says it sold more than 100 O.J. Simpson items within hours of the announcement of his death, and the traffic crashed their website. Dealers say they're scrambling to keep up amid the renewed interest.
Just very typical with celebrities who die, and you know, criminal or not criminal, memorabilia is always going to be flying off the shelves when someone dies. It obviously is going to go up in price as well.
And those prices, of course, depend on the type of memorabilia people are looking for. You can find autographed jerseys, rookie cards, even evidence photos from Simpson's robbery trial in Las Vegas. Demolition crews are preparing to implode the famous Tropicana Casino in Las Vegas. Fox 5's Jacqueline Schultz takes us inside the shuttered resort for a look at some of the work that's already underway.
This was a hotel room at the Tropicana. There's another room in the earlier stages. Though guests are gone from the bungalow tower, 150 to 200 laborers are inside and outside, preparing the Tropicana for demolition 6 months from now. Work has to start now, the president of Laborers Local 872, Lou DeSalvio, explains.
When it comes to the point of getting the tower ready, it almost has to look, if not identical, to how it is when it's being constructed. It's going to be bare bones concrete, and then the blasting company, of course, will go in there.
The laborers were also the team behind the start of the Raider Stadium construction. And from the demolition of the Riviera in 2016 to other long-gone properties in and around the Strip, they are well-versed in how this process goes. After crews expose the walls inside the frame of the bungalow, there's a crucial next step: tackling the layer of asbestos underneath. North Star Contracting tells Fox 5 crews soak asbestos to prevent its spread, then remove it in about 6 months.
It's very tedious work. When you go into an area, it has to be contained. HEPA filters need to be set up. It's very hot work. Everybody is all dressed in Carvex suits. They have to, clean themselves up before they leave the containment area. And that's what Laborers Local 872 focuses on. We've been training for asbestos forever.
From the bungalow, laborers will tackle the tower and repeat the process for stripping it down and treating asbestos until it all becomes a shell of its former self.
We'll go in there and then we'll start removing the carpet, the glass, all the fixtures, everything. It basically is going to be stripped down to a bare bones building, just about see through it. When the implosion happens, there's not debris flying.
After demolition, construction of the A's Stadium is set to begin next spring on the other side of the property. Bally's has plans for another property at the site of the Tropicana. DeSalvio says all this ongoing work and construction is exciting for jobs.
Every time a job's created, it gives us the ability to provide a career path for somebody. Second to none for us to be able to grow.
Jacqueline Schultz, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
And the Tropicana is being torn down to make room for a new Major League Baseball stadium that the Oakland A's are expected to call home. That ballpark could be ready by 2028.
Everything is flooded down here with the entire coconut grove is underwater up to the fence line.
Strong storms have parts of Hawaii a mess tonight. Heavy rain started flooding the island of Kauai early this morning. High water and landslides have left many roads impassable. So far, there are no reports of anyone being injured. Kauai's acting mayor has already signed an emergency proclamation. He's hoping that will expedite recovery efforts. Well, the weather beginning to clear all across the Hawaiian Islands. Here's a live look at conditions in Hilo on the Big Island right now. A beautiful shot here. Let's bring in meteorologist Mark Tamayo, who is tracking some new storms expected to cross over the West Coast over this coming weekend. Mark, you spent a lot of time in Hawaii. You get some really serious storms there.
Yeah, that's right. Family in Kauai, in fact, I did see rainfall reports of up to 9 inches of rain over the past 24 hours, and hearing reports that the flooding over the bridge into Honolulu as well. So as you can see, the satellite and the radar, the rainfall focused over Kauai earlier today. The flood warnings, though, have been allowed to expire. As we take a look here at this particular view of the satellite, we're watching this system approaching Northern California, and this will be a rain producer. Already is a rain producer right around Eureka and Cape Mendocino, but overnight tonight for San Francisco, we're talking about some rainfall, and then rain chances going up for Southern California as well as we move into the weekend. So in terms of rainfall, it's approaching mid-April, and we're talking about some nice measurable rainfall here, especially for California, from Eureka down towards San Francisco, Los Angeles, even out toward the Sierra. They're going to pick up some rain and some snow showers with snowfall in the Lake Tahoe forecast. In Seattle, a beautiful sunny day with temperatures in the upper 50s. They'll have some more sunshine for tomorrow. San Francisco, the clouds moving in throughout the day, temperature in the upper 50s. And it looks like we had some foggy conditions down in Southern California. This was Santa Monica Beach, and nearby Los Angeles reporting a temperature this afternoon at 63 degrees. Current numbers out there for the 7 o'clock hour. Las Vegas right now is 80, San Francisco 57. Phoenix is still in the clear and warm with the current readings in the upper 80s. So here's your Saturday forecast. Lots of sunshine up in Seattle. We're watching this system. That'll be a rain producer for San Francisco, also approaching Central and Southern California. It is sunny and warm out toward Phoenix once again, but not as warm as today, and then sunshine out toward Denver. So here's the forecast model showing you the eventual path of this system, the eventual track of this system approaching San Francisco, the central coast of California, and there's that white showing up indicating some snow in the Sierra. It remains unsettled for portions of California into Sunday. Notice not too much happening up in the Pacific Northwest, and actually Phoenix still enjoying some sunshine as well. So here's kind of the breakdown over the next several days. We will have a sun-cloud mix up in Seattle for both Saturday and Sunday. We will cloud things up once again into early next week with maybe some rainfall making a comeback. Out towards San Francisco, rain for Saturday, then out toward Los Angeles, the rain chances going up for Saturday. Still a chance into Sunday. If you want the sunshine and the warm temperatures, we have that as well on this map for Phoenix. 90 degrees on Saturday, and then gradually cooling things off for Sunday and into early next week. So approaching mid-April, Alex, we're still talking about some cold rain across parts of the West Coast.
Yeah, kind of hard to believe, but here we go. A stormy weekend ahead of us for a lot of folks. Mark, thank you. A Los Angeles man who had his car stolen took matters into his own hands, using a cell phone to track down and confront the thieves.
My girl told me it was happening. She had left her phone in the car, tracked it to GPS, grabbed my motorcycle and followed it. Confronted them. They got scared, tried to run me over, then started to run away. And then that's when they crashed into the house right here.
Incredible story. No one was seriously hurt, although the man says his car might be totaled. We're told at least 2 people were arrested by authorities. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, Salt Lake City wants to play host to the 2034 Winter Olympics. Tonight, see what city leaders are doing to try to stand out. Also, a 4-month-old lab found herself in a really tough spot. We'll show you how rescue crews got her to safety. Small-scale home is up for sale in Cupertino, California, but despite its size, buyers are flocking to the property and willing to pay some big money for it. This home is smaller than some apartments, measuring just 384 square feet. It also doesn't have any appliances or heating, And just 6 days after it was listed, one buyer tells us that she put down an offer well above the $1.7 million asking price. This house sits on a 7,800 square foot lot. That is, of course, enough space to build a much larger home.
People can still build a pretty good sized home here and be in the neighborhood where all your neighbors' homes are worth $4 to $5 million. So I think that's the potential people saw when they came through.
And it does sound like a deal is in the works. The house should be listed as pending within just the next few hours. Salt Lake City is expected to be announced as the host city for the 2034 Winter Olympic Games, and local officials say they're ready and eager to claim that hosting bid. Fox 13's Ben Winslow has more tonight on the effort to bring the Games back to Utah.
Members of the International Olympic Committee's Future Host Commission toured the Utah Olympic Sports Park.
If the Olympics were never here in the first place, that wouldn't have happened, and I wouldn't have been in the sport for 13 years.
Hearing from former athletes and those who still train here 22 years after the 2002 Winter Olympics.
Thank you so much.
Local and state leaders are once again trying to impress upon the commission how Utah is ready to host a 2034 Winter Olympics.
We've been so ready for so long. We're going to obviously do a lot of things, but most of it's already done because of the fact we've maintained these venues.
Unlike a lot of other former Olympic cities, since 2002, our venues remain operational. Communities like Park City are still welcoming the world with athletic competitions and tourism. This community of 8,500 swells to 80,000 during the Sundance Film Festival.
I think we're going to be ready, definitely.
Mayor Nan Worrell says hosting the world is nothing new.
People that were here in 2002 can't wait for another Games to come back. They say that, it was a great community builder. It really brought the community together. It really inspired our young people to get involved in sport and, pursue their Olympic dreams. And I think that I'm hearing exactly the same thing now from folks, that they're excited for the Games to come.
Park City Mountain Resort will be one of the potential Olympic venues.
So I'm really excited to think about the future of these Games right here and the venue that we have today and what we'll have in the future.
It includes a new space for Paralympic athletes that appeared to excite one IOC Future Host Commission member.
It's wonderful to see this center because this is what we need to develop the Paralympic sports and to have so much equipment and such an easy-to-go venue available. Wonderful.
And that was Fox 13's Ben Winslow reporting for us tonight. The International Olympic Committee is hoping to release a formal announcement with the 2034 host city coming up in July. That announcement would also name the host city for the 2030 Games. Finally tonight, a dramatic puppy rescue in Phoenix caught on camera. Crews saved a 4-month-old Labrador retriever trapped in a brick wall. The Arizona Humane Society worked on this rescue Sunday along with Phoenix Fire and the police department. Heavy machinery was brought in to assist the team. It took over an hour to free the pup named Leche. Once she was out of the wall, Leche went through a veterinary evaluation. She has already been adopted and found a forever home. Great news. Thank you for watching West Coast Wrap. Have a great night.